Alright guys, finally here, it's the day. I'm nervous, but we're going to fire up the car here in a little bit, or let's not use the word fire. We're going to start up the car here in a minute. Chris is coming over, he'll be a guy on the laptop, help me set the base timing, just making sure the computer is seeing the same timing that the engine is actually seeing for ignition. We'll crank it, prime the oiling system, and then yeah, hook everything up and cross our fingers it's a good start, doesn't make any crazy noises, and yeah, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous actually. So yeah, we'll go to time lapse I guess for a minute maybe. But in this video, the engine's gonna start. Fingers crossed. Here we go. I feel like somebody's watching me. Holding the idle. Oil pressure?
62, 65. We're also idling a couple degrees. That changes everything. I mean, that compressor changes everything. What happened? We're playing because we're idling 2 degrees retarded right now, so we're not making as much power. So that's why I want to idle down. Plus, we don't know what the compression is going to do. Everything else that I work on pulls 12 to 15 inches.
I saw a tiny little poof of moisture and smoke come out of the catch can after the first fire, so that's probably just bring some heat up. Yeah, the only other thing I need to do is I still got to get brake lines made up. And then once I bleed everything, then it's good for a drive, like a good break in.
Your fans are hooked up, right?
What's that?
Your fans are hooked up, right?
Ran. She fired up, everything's smooth. Motor was really quiet right off the get-go, so that's all looking good. One problem I do have is it doesn't seem to be circulating coolant. So it's got a brand new water pump, brand new thermostat. There could have been an air pocket somewhere in there, so I'm gonna wait for it to cool down. I will take the cap off, take the bleeder out. I'll even set the back of the car down to try to help make the nose of the car the highest. Top it off with water again, try to make sure everything's bled and happy. Fire it up one more time, see if it didn't kick the fans on, so it should have been the first close. It should have kicked the fans on, and it didn't. So it got up to about 200 or so, and then. Alright guys, you might notice a few things changed. Memory card maxed out, so this is a closer from the next day. Day late and $1 short, but she did run. Mechanically, as far as the engine goes, no problems. Started smooth. I mean, no rattles, no nothing. It just fired up pretty much, and immediately smoothed out, and just pretty much idled on its own. We had a lot of timing pulled just because we weren't sure how the high compression stuff was going to act. So once we put a little bit of timing back in, it was able to smooth out just because we had such little timing that it didn't want to idle. So Chris put a little timing in it, idle as smooth as could be. Seems fine, nothing out of the ordinary. You saw the exhaust probably starting to smoke and whatnot. It's just cooking off paint, oils from my hands when we were making it and everything else. One issue we did have, sadly, and kudos to Chris for catching it. I'm so used to being on autopilot as far as the car keeping itself cool because it has a thermo switch. Well, it'd been running for a little while, and he asked me if my fans were hooked up, and I was like, eh. But I went ahead and popped my head in there and looked at the temperature, and it was already above what the fan should have kicked on at. They kick on at like 195, and it was already at about 200 or so, at least on that gauge. The ECU read differently than what the aftermarket gauge did, so I'm not sure which is right, but either way, it was warmer than it should be. So mechanically, you know, with the manual switch, turn the fans on, they came on, pulling air the right direction, everything, and the temp still wouldn't come down. It still kept climbing. So I think I shut it down somewhere around, I think like 220, 215. So it was hot, but it wasn't like, oh my god, hot yet. But I'm so thankful that he caught that because I was already like autopilot and fired and idled. It ran great, ran smooth, like everything's good to go. Completely forgot about like constantly checking the coolant temps to make sure everything was doing what it's supposed to. So once it cooled down, popped the cap, fluid's still right there at the top. Popped the screw, fluid's right there, so there's no known air pockets that I know of at least. It's got a brand new water pump, it's got a brand new thermostat. So apart from there either being an air pocket somewhere in there that just didn't bleed itself out, or me somehow possibly leaving a rag or something shoved into one of the radiator inlets, or maybe even the motor, could cause it to have that issue. So I need to look into that problem, but other than that, everything's good. So what I'm still need to finish up is brake lines. I got to make my front braided brake lines. I went and got some fittings for them today to go from the banjo bolt to a -3. But once I get my brakes hooked up, get all my brakes bled, get the clutch bled, then I'll drop the back of the car, attempt to bleed the cooling system again, fire it one more time. If it fixes itself because it's an air pocket and it bleeds itself out, great. If it doesn't, I'll pull, drain all the coolant, pull all the pipes. You know, it's not too hard to get to the water pump or the thermostat. I'll probably pull the thermostat first, boil it, make sure it does open. Second, I'll pull, the water pump. It's a water pump I bought off of Rock Auto. It was name brand of some sort. I didn't buy, it wasn't like a value craft or anything. So I wouldn't think something insanely crazy like the impeller being like welded on the wrong way or press fit the wrong way, but I've seen crazier things happen. I've seen distributors that were pinned 180 out, so you can sit there all day and say it's pointing in the right spot when it's actually not. But fingers crossed it's just an air pocket, but other than that, it'll fire one more time, run it for a little bit, make sure everything's good, and then after that we'll go for a cruise and start, kind of the break-in process, which is on pump gas right now, 93, so I won't be hitting boost. I'll just, bring her up in the RPMs, do a lot of engine braking, pull vacuum, get all that dialed in, maybe like a 10-15 minute spin, nothing crazy. Come back, change the oil filter, probably pump out all the gasoline, put ethanol in it, then we'll go out again, then we'll still breaking it in, engine vacuum, we'll start leaning into boost, leaning on the motor a little bit, getting everything cleaned up. A couple oil filter changes, a couple oil changes, then we'll be good to go for the season. But just want to be the closer for that video. Sorry I wasn't like really enthusiastic. When that stuff happens, I'm like eyes and ears on everything except for the coolant tip apparently. But yeah, as far as things go for building the motor from scratch, even doing all the machine work myself, and I'm not a machinist, it turned out really well. So the only thing I got to figure out is the cooling issue, finish the brake lines, then we get to start enjoying the car. But yeah, this is my closer from yesterday because the memory card filled up when I tried to have a little closer video. So until next time, see you guys later.